Hello guys, Teacher Peter once again here with you to give one more tip. During the week, I asked you to vote which class would you like to have today, present perfect or simple past. And the one you decided it was simple past. So today we are having a simple past class. Let's go and let's discover something about this verb tense. When we are talking about simple past, we are talking about something that happened in the past. It started and finished. It doesn't exist anymore, okay? You need to remember it's important to mention that things started and finished, okay? Because we have another verb tense, that's the present perfect. The one I told you to choose during the week, right? So first of all, what do you have to know? When we are talking about this verb tense, it's very important for you to know the verbs, of course. And if you are learning simple past, I imagine you already know about simple present. So you know some verbs, but now it's time to know these verbs in the past. What I suggest you, when you start learning English, take a verb list and check the most common verbs and try to memorize them. Not just the infinitive form, but the past tense too. I mean the second column when you are checking your verb list. Talking about verbs, we have two types of verbs. We have regular verbs and irregular verbs. A regular verb, it's a verb that when you need it in the past, you add ed, d or ied. So there's a rule for you to transform that verb in the past. For example, work, worked. And you have another group of verbs called irregular verbs. The irregular verbs, as the word says, it is irregular. There's no rule. So some verbs, they change completely. And other verbs, they stay the same. You just change the pronunciation or even doesn't change the pronunciation. You need to understand the context. If you are looking for some information about verbs, of course, you can find on the internet some verb list. It's more common for you to find irregular verb lists. It's possible to find regular verb lists, but as we have more irregular verbs than regular verbs, I mean, when you have some verbs, for example, let's say you have 10 verbs, 9 of them are irregular verbs, and the others, let's say just one verb is regular. So it's more common to find irregular verb list than regular verbs list, right? But you can find, if you check on the internet, you will find both. But if you study the irregular verbs, it's easy to learn the regular ones too. How? Because as you know, some verbs, some irregular verbs, when you see that other verb, you imagine that verb might be regular because it's not common to you. Of course, check on your dictionary to see if you're right, okay? So, here we go. How do you use it? When you use simple past, as I said, it's something that stayed in the past. It started and finished. It's important for you to learn some time expressions. What is that? It's a word, it's an expression that says when that thing happened. For example, you have ago, last, then you can say last year, 10 minutes ago, or you can mention exactly when that thing happened. For example, oh, I got married in September. So you were mentioning the month. It's important to mention when that thing happened when we are using simple past. All right, now let's think about how you form one sentence in the past. Simple past form. Firstly, remember that you have three forms: affirmative form, negative form, and question. When you are using affirmative forms, there's no auxiliary verb. You just use the verb in the past. So you just need to remember if it's regular or irregular. When you're talking about negative sentences, you will need an auxiliary verb, that's the didn't. So you use the subject, the auxiliary verb didn't, and the verb. But remember, when you are using a negative sentence, the verb comes in the infinitive form. Don't use it in the past form, because the auxiliary verb already says that verb is in the past, okay? If you have a question, it's like simple present if you know this verb tense. What do you have to do? In this case, the auxiliary verb is did for all the pronouns. So you will use the auxiliary verb before the subject. For example, did I, did you, did he, did she. The verb comes in the infinitive form again, like the negative sentences. The only difference is negative you have didn't and the questions did. And just to finish, as you know, we usually have the short answers. For you to make your short answers, you use the affirmative and the negative. So you say, yes, I did. No, I didn't. So use did and didn't. Of course, for all the other pronouns too. For example, yes, you did. No, you didn't. And you will do the same thing with the other pronouns, right? So this is the simple past. So during the week on my Facebook page and on I Speak Facebook fan page, I will ask you about the next class. Please vote which one you prefer, okay? I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and see you next time. Bye bye.